Hi everyone, welcome to the new video. In this video, we'll try to analyze few of the most traded pairs and we'll go from higher time frame to lower time frame, analyzing it a little bit deeper and we'll try to figure out what might happen next. So, as you know, we are on the gold on monthly time frame. So, I want you to focus on this thing every time after an impulse move, market goes sideways in correction. Impulse, again correction, here also again we have seen an very majority of very aggressive impulse. So sooner or later we should expect price to give us another bigger correction which can last for several years. I might be wrong, I might be right, but let's figure out. Because after this whole 8 to 9 months or 10 months of bullish run, finally we had a closure of a bearish candle. Though it respected the previous October candle's open, it closed above it, which shows right, bearish candle is not engulfing. It is a bullish sign still, and it has respected this fair value gap as well, which is a good sign for continuation to grab external liquidity next. But let's go on the previous data when the all-time highs were made and how price reacted. So on this example from 2011, when this high was made, there was kind of similar price action here, a fair value gap which got filled. The price almost closed equally here with the previous monthly open price. Still, we had one more run higher, which failed to make a new high, and it fell down again. Still, only sweep, no break below this. Price stayed in this range for a lot of days. It was around 670 days, means almost 2 years. So still price can do this. Coming on to the recent example which we had from 2020 onwards, again after this high was made, we had this fair value gap. Price tapped into this little deeper, gave us some reaction, again failed to make a new high, came down, and consolidation, buildup of liquidity, grab, and then another bullish run. But it took it a lot of years to form, and it can still happen. This whole price action was in 3 years. So what is happening here? Again, we have fair value gap filled. Now the second thing we have to look at it, if on the lower time frames, daily, 4 hour, hourly, is it showing us bullish intent to go higher, or it is in middle somewhere, it is giving us some bearish intent where it can again come down around here and give us some consolidation or something like that. I'm trying to build up a story on the behalf of past data we have on charts, right? Now let's jump on to the weekly time frame. And on weekly time frame, we can see price has induced this low and used this fair value gap to push price higher into again this fair value gap. So it is a tug of war between buyers and sellers, and still we are not sure whether price is bullish or bearish, because on monthly it's all bullish, on weekly it is bullish, but it is giving sign of bearish as well. Until and unless price does not close above this high, for me price can still fall. But the time price goes above and challenges this high, price can continue high around 2800 or maybe 2900, 3000. It can just blast away. So I think that's all for weekly. Jumping on to the daily time frame, which is important for us. And on the last video we uploaded on YouTube, I talked about the daily time frame little bit in depth, and I'll do that again. After grab of this liquidity, we had this push which took this high, this liquidity, and filled this gap and showed this impulse again. So for me, this is an initial sign, this drop, that bears are trying to take control, and buyers are getting little weak here. And jumping now on the 4-hour time frame, again liquidity got grabbed in initial push, but I don't see any bearish break because this was just a sweep. After that we had this correction, and this correction, if you talk about channels and all that, which I drew last time as well in the last video, this got broken and it got retested now. I don't trade on these patterns, but there is high probability if we got get confirmation on the lower time frames, price can come down and target this low, which I already gave you target in the last video, and it can come lower as well. Till where? Till this consolidation, which is inside this order flow. I'm giving you a little bit more detail about it because last time I just gave you about this order flow. It can come down in this order flow, but this manipulation here before this up, I think if price gives us some volume under this, price can easily come here before again going higher. Okay, so and for here I'll mark some structures, and in the last video I said if this low got protected with the weak open, price can still go higher to target these highs. But what happened? It got broken with the Asian session, and some of the brokers have some open gap in this range. And in initially today as well, I shared a chart in the inner circle group where we shared that we are expecting this initial push higher into that gap before we see another fall, which can take all this low, because this low was also not taken with this, so this is also protected. So I'm expecting, uh, let me mark all these lows, one, two, three, four, five lows to get taken out with this move, which has already been initiated by the market later in the New York session, and price is not interested in going higher, so I'll delete them. And price just came into this order flow, right? And we have this reaction early in the Asian session, so I'll mark this as my initial change in structure. And of course, we don't have gap here, so I'll try to mark this last order flow, which also got mitigated here. And now jumping on to the 15-minute time frame. Today, if we talk about, right, no one can catch the Asian session. It's too early in the market. We all trade in different time zones on the planet. So after all this happened, you see what market did. If I try to break out today's price action during the London session, and if I bring on the indicator of the time session, so we can see what price did was price during the drop of this Asian session, price at the end created all this liquidity which got grabbed as soon as the Asia was completed. It got grabbed here, and after this grab, which was the last high, if I zoom in again, right, this was the last high which made this low, because this and this low is equal, if I'm not wrong. No, this got swept here, right, with a little pip. So for me, this previous high is the last high which should get broken for me to start buying, and that's what happened. Price broke it, and if I'm not wrong, I shared a screenshot of my MT5. From here I got a entry which got hit above the Asian high, which got the target hit here somewhere, and we secured a hefty amount of profits on the Monday, right? So it was all what? Build up of liquidity, grab of that liquidity, change in structure and continuation. Market was continuing, and now what is happening? Market filled that gap which is available on some of the brokers, and mitigation of this last order flow. And after this, if I mark the structure, market is still bullish. I don't see any bearish pressure coming in because all this is so contracted, no fair value gaps formed, no aggressive moves, and this is the last low which created this high. So until and unless I think this low is protected, I don't think so we will see any bearish pressure coming in. So there is still possibility market from this zone to go higher in this order flow, above this, deeper in this fair value gap, or somewhat else which we might not know, and then come down. That is also possible. So I think that's all for gold. And to sum up, we have seen some structure shifts and we are expecting lower prices above these lows approximately till here, if not lower. If it goes lower, then we will be setting in sales from higher prices. Or if it gives us some accumulation in this area, then it will be a sign that yes, price is accumulating for another run for the higher prices. So that's all for gold. Let's try to figure out what's happening with silver now. So for silver, for me, I'm super bullish on silver as well. And you see market created all these lows on monthly, grabbed this liquidity, push higher, breaking the structure, and after that price took its time, came down in this last order flow, right? This last down candle which manipulated all the liquidity below these lows. Market came here, tapped that, and then started another run. So nothing special there, and we can zoom in and see prices going higher in a very healthy way, filling all the fair value gaps. And here we have somewhat this small fair value gap and this one. So I'm not expecting this fair value gap to get filled, but still this fair value gap can still get filled because higher side prices getting swept every time we don't see any closures. So that shows me on monthly time frame that the buyers are getting weak, and maybe they have something on the sell side, means downside, to grab, that is more liquidity. So it is possible price might come down, grab some liquidity before it goes higher. But this is higher time frame, monthly. Let's jump lower and see what's happening. So on weekly, this was the last structure. Price respected this and started this move higher. That's all right. And this is the only fair value gap below here from where we got this initiation of the bullish run. So price is trying to come at that exact price. If I market, it is already tapped here, but price can still come deeper or fail this. Anything can happen. And with this fair value gap, we have this demand as well, from where we started seeing this change in structure, then structure shift again, bullish break, and we had this demand, oh sorry, daily break of structure. And now market is doing, market is giving us complex pullback to grab more orders before it goes higher. So as on gold we talked, like we are looking for some bearish push to the lower prices before it goes higher again. Still exactly the same. I'm expecting it to come lower in these prices around 29, if not lower, to again start a bullish push on daily time frame. Going on to the lower time frames, we can see price is still bearish. And is this low broken yet? It has been swept, and after this sweep, we saw a push higher, taking all these highs. So I wouldn't say this is a break of structure, because on higher time frame this is the main high and this is the low which created. So this is the range we have, and until and unless this high is protected, which is around 31.5, I think silver can still roam around in this range and fall any time. So try to see what market is trying to build a story about. Like here also you can see we had this initial break of structure, but still market hovered here for few days, build this liquidity, gave market an opportunity to grab that and use that as a fuel to come down aggressively. So similarly, price has grabbed this liquidity here. We have seen some structure shifts here, minor, and we are seeing some reactions here as well. But I don't think silver will give an aggressive push here. I can be wrong because I don't trade silver that much. But yes, you can correlate gold and silver because they move parallelly, but gold move more volatile and with large volume and with more price. Like if gold is moving $100 a day, sometimes it is not moving $1 or something, right? So it is a little bit different. That's why I don't try to trade silver, but I use silver prices to see what gold might do, because there are divergence on EU and GU which help. Similarly, we have divergence on silver and gold which help you trade and see what price is doing. So continuing on lower time frames, yes, as I talked about the gap, we also had gap on silver with the market open which got filled in the New York, and now we are seeing some bearish pressure, and it can continue down if it wants. If it continues, that's good. On gold, it will give us a sign. Yes, gold will go down, and it is following our analysis. So I think that's all for silver as well.